this morning?
I'm very well, thank you, Sam. How the devil are you today?
Oh, I'm so excited, mate. I'm so excited to just take a look at some lovely wrestling news. What about you?
Yeah,
Oh, headlines. The new WWE Raw Lead Announcer has been revealed. We have an injury update on Will Ospreay. And a WWE Hall of Famer is appearing on AEW Dynamite. Find out who in a bit. Now, recently, Will Ospreay was forced to vacate the IWGP Heavyweight Championship because of issues stemming from an injury in his neck. And he's taken to Twitter to actually give an update on the situation surrounding the injury. So he posted, "I had my physio pop over the house today, and after further digging, I'm now being referred for another MRI on my lower back as well, for fears I may have the same issue in my neck." So I'm assuming he means it might be the same issue that's in his neck, maybe in his lower back there. Things ain't looking good, but I'm determined to come back this year. Thanks for all the support. Now, there haven't been any plans to, put somebody else in or crown a new champion yet, revealed by New Japan, and there's obviously no hard timetable on Ospreay's recovery. But yeah, it's just a horrible thing when someone has to face an injury quite this serious, and it could impact their wrestling career.
Yeah, that's it. Just he's at the height of his career, and he's had to vacate the belt. And I just hope he gets better soon, and fingers crossed that the possible injury with his back isn't anything too severe, and we can get him back on the screens.
Next up, the new lead announcer for WWE Raw has been revealed, and that man is who, Andrew?
It is only former Bellator and UFC broadcaster Sam, Jimmy Smith.
Yes, and he commented on the announcement that he's joining the Raw announce team by saying, "Hey guys, it's been a busy day. Apparently WWE liked my work so far. I know I'm stepping into a new world. I was a Mr. Perfect and Bruiser Brody fanatic, however, but no, I'll do everything I can to honor the athletes and fans. Watch Monday and judge my work for yourself." Now, he's 43. He's best known for his 2010 to 2017 tenure with Bellator, and he's been working with Michael Cole and WWE staff in order to train for a possible announcing role. Well, now it looks like that's, all fallen into place. According to sources within the company, though, Cole has praised him heavily and found him to be very versatile. And that's one thing I think is important when it comes to wrestling announcers is versatility, because anything can happen, anything can go wrong. You might need to start. Look at the start of WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
Everything just went completely out the window. There was no backup plan, and everybody just had to stall. And the commentators were, the framing of that entire thing. We'll throw to this interview now, and that sort of thing. But yes, he's slated to be the lead play-by-play announcer, and in his previous roles with MMA roles with Bellator and UFC, he was in the analyst role. And his first show is going to be on Monday, May 31st, the day after my birthday.
Oh, look at
what
that!
A lovely birthday present.
Yeah, I know.
This year, what did you get for your birthday? This year, I got Jimmy Smith
yes!
on Raw. Lovely. Now, keeping it with Raw and some news that's kind of on the opposite spectrum of the happy news we just had. Raw has drawn its lowest ratings for all of 2021 so far. So, Raw on Monday averaged 1.62 million viewers and did a 0.45 rating in 18 to 49, and it's among the lowest numbers in show history in each category. The numbers were down due to the NBA playoffs. The 18 to 49 number, that little small part of the bracket itself, was the second lowest in the history of the show, with only 0.41 for the December 14th, 2020 show being lower. For total viewers, it was the fourth lowest in history, and the record low is the same for December 14th, 2020 show that did 1.53 million viewers, going against a massive NFL game. Now, the 3 hours broken down were 8 p.m., 1.66 million viewers, 9 p.m., 1.67 million viewers, and 10 p.m., 1.54 million viewers. Now, it's kind of, we're going to talk about something a little bit later in this video, but with the ratings, I get, when you're up against things like the NBA playoffs, you're up against the NFL, you're obviously going to have like a mass exodus there of a certain portion of the audience, because people don't just like wrestling and that's it. People have diverse tastes, so anybody that's watching the playoffs is not going to be tuning into Raw. They can catch that later, whereas the NBA is live, and it's live sport. It's not sports entertainment, so you kind of want to be in the loop as and when it's happening. But in terms of just ratings in general sinking, They don't seem to be too worried about it, which, you know, they never really put stock in the ratings themselves. It seems to be everybody else that really makes the ratings a bigger deal. But at the same time, you know, there's got to be something kind of ticking away there, you'd think, when they're seeing, you know, lower and lower numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so, but then we hear of obviously stories like, oh, they rewrote the script 45 minutes before the show and stuff like that. So, I mean, obviously it seems as though they aren't too bothered about the ratings and stuff. And
yeah,
I mean, we'll see what happens there. But I guess, as you were saying, it's to be expected with stuff like the NBA and everything being on at the same time. And yeah, just like, I guess there's expected to be a drop-off too when, I mean, there's not really too many compelling storylines at the moment either. So, like, as the show gets on, and if things don't seem to be picking up for people, then obviously that's where they're going to start to drop off as well. So, yeah.
Next up, we have some more live dates from WWE that have been added to the calendar. Now, it was announced yesterday that the Friday, July 23rd episode of SmackDown will take place at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. WWE will then head to the T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City, Missouri for the Monday, July 26th episode of Raw. And then the Friday 30th episode of SmackDown will be held at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tickets for those shows will go on sale Friday, June 4th at 10 a.m. local time in each market. But now there's an updated schedule in full, Andrew. You got a list of dates there to run down for the people for the death of the Thunderdome, the return of the audience. Everybody wants everybody's vaccinated and stuff. Everybody just sneezing and hugging on each other and stuff.
Yes, I can't wait for that match. Exactly, just sneezing everywhere. That's the match. But yes, we got the updated schedule for the return to touring. Sorry, so
yeah.
Friday, July 16th is SmackDown at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Sunday, July 18th, we've got Money in the Bank at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. Monday, July 19th, Raw, we've got American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Friday, July 23rd, we've got SmackDown, as you were saying, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. Monday the 26th of July, we've got Raw again at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. And Friday, 30th of July, we've got SmackDown at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So yeah,
I mean, it's exciting, but at the same time, I'm seeing people in Tesco with no masks on, and I'm kind of.
Just like so, a little bit wary,
it's exciting, but it's scary. But it's exciting, but it's scary. Now, as mentioned in the opening of the video, we've got a WWE Hall of Famer heading over to AEW for an appearance, and no, it's not JR, it's somebody else. Who is it, Andrew?
Oh, let me tell you, so on the Busted Open Radio on Wednesday, Chris Jericho revealed that Eric Bischoff will be there. He's going to host a celebration of the Inner Circle, which is going to be a segment designed to honor the group if it's their final time together as a unit, because obviously at the Stadium Stampede match, if the Pinnacle win, the Inner Circle have to break up forever, Sam. Done and dusted.
Yes. I mean, to be honest, Bischoff has been in and around AEW quite a bit, or at least Starcast, and it's been, you know, just a little bit of a flirt here and there. And, you know, given his ties to Jericho in the past, it does make sense that he'd be there in a situation in which he's, you know, honoring the, you know, not really career, but honoring a phase of his career in terms of, you know, their relationship going all the way back to the 90s. But Bischoff was the moderator of last August's debate between Jericho and Orange Cassidy ahead of their Mimosa Mayhem match. And then he returned to ask questions as part of the media for the Inner Circle Town Hall. So yeah, he's kind of, it's weird, as I said, he's been kind of having little flirty dalliances with AEW. Part of me, every time I see him, I kind of get excited. I don't know if it's just because I was like a kid and I was a WCW kid, but every time I see Bischoff, I'm just like, yeah.
That's exactly me, because he's like a really good storyteller too, and he's got good comedic chops. Especially when it comes to Jericho, like he and Jericho bounce off each other really well, like they did in that debate with Orange Cassidy too. So just like you, every time I see him, I'm just like, yeah, here's Big Bish. I'm ready for some Big Bish.
Well, I think we will be seeing him. What about you?
Yeah.
I think it's a given. I think it's just a smidge. And finally, back in March, WWE signed a deal with Peacock that was worth over $1 billion. It was a huge thing to have happened at the time. They brought in loads of signups to the Peacock side of things when they migrated the network over. It seems to be getting off to a pretty good start, this relationship. But we don't really know what the McMahons think of it. But Wrestling Inc. have found something quite interesting. Now, Stephanie McMahon was speaking at a Leaders Business event this week where she got into the Peacock deal, its positives, and one negative of the whole situation. Now, she said, from a benefit perspective, it really allows us to focus on what we do best, which really is the content production and the storytelling. It's consistent that we're still getting our data, not as much data, so maybe that's a little bit of a downside there. But when you think about the economic scale and reach, and of course, the added value for our fans were paying $9.99 a month for all of the WWE network. And now on Peacock, if they want to continue to pay $9.99, they certainly can for the ad-free model. They can also get all the additional content across Peacock, and in addition to that, they can do the $4.99 model, which is the ad-supported model. Or there's even the free model as well. So it's added value for the fans, economic scale and reach for WWE, and really more people and reaching more people, and bringing them into the fold. Now, it makes sense, you know, what she's saying in terms of it, you know, being a better deal for, you know, the price point for $9.99. You get now the network and all of the extra added bonuses that Peacock has, you know, all of the other content that's just sat there waiting. You know, the network's on there. But the only problem is that, you know, from what we've heard from our American friends, the network at the minute is a bit broken and it's a bit of an unusable or unnavigatable mess at times. But when you look at what she was saying in terms of the negative, when it comes to data's super important. So the fact they're not getting even a small amount of that data that, you know, could prove pivotal in terms of their marketing or in terms of, you know, coming up with new things. I mean, that's got to be at least some sort of that it was conceded on the deal. But, you know, I'm assuming that they're still very happy with the relationship. I mean, they signed over the deal. It's one of the biggest deals ever. So what do you think of it?
Yeah, I think it's just been a really good way for them to grow. Obviously, with the data, maybe that's a little bit harder. Maybe with the data, that would be a lot easier for them to sort of expand and broaden their horizons a little bit more. But to do this deal, and with all the different, like, you got the $9.99 one, the $4.99 one, the free one, like, that is such a good way to entice people who might not really be into wrestling to, like, come in and try it a little bit and see, ooh, would you like this? Would you like a little sprinkling of this? And I think this whole entire deal has been fantastic, really, for them. I think it's a really good business venture, and I can just see it bringing more people on board into the whole wrestling sphere.
Depending on what type of data it is as well, it might be, you know, negligible. It might be that, you know, you trade off that loss in data in order to partner with somebody like NBC Universal, who are huge and have such a massive international reach that, you know, there's probably a big upside to giving them that small amount of data, but you just don't get that. But, you know, there's also talk of restructuring going on and stuff like that. So it could be, you know, this whole focus on storytelling aspect. It could be that we've got, you know, a new era coming, maybe. We've got all this stuff building. WWE have kind of gone into this deal. Yes, they might not have enough data, but then we've got things moving behind the scenes. They partnered up with Peacock. Everything's kind of... It looks like it's setting up right now, doesn't it? It looks like we're kind of climbing some stairs to get to somewhere interesting. So
exactly.
I guess we'll only find out as and when it happens, but when the next Steve Austin drops, and it's actually Andrew,
give me a hell,
just pour in beer all over yourself gently, because you don't want to make a mess.
Hand sanitizer.
But anyway, that has been your morning wrestling news. We'll be back a little bit later on today with another helping for all of you lovely people. I've been Sam, he's been Andrew, this has been Cultaholic Wrestling. We'll catch you in a bit.